Feminism, to me, is a global struggle against all forms of patriarchal oppression. Feminism as an ideology is not interested in targeting individuals, individual men, individual women. It's about interrogating structures and systems that patriarchy has put in place through and that are solidified through our economic systems, our political systems, our social systems, when people talk about culture, tradition, and so on, our religious systems, technological systems, and so on. Patriarchy, all these institutions are manifestations of patriarchal norms and values. And unfortunately, women who are the receiving end of patriarchal oppression are often co-opted into the perpetration of these injustices. Men too, a lot of men too, who otherwise would have been progressive and supportive, they too are shamed by fellow men for being interrogators of patriarchal norms and values. So when you have a man, for example, who believes that it is unfair of him to expect that his wife will be the only one doing household chores, when he decides to support her in doing that to make it an equal task, it is his own female relatives who will call him a woman rapper and say that his wife has bewitched him. So that's also an example of ways in which patriarchy also oppresses even men. But generally, for me, it's a global struggle against all forms of patriarchal oppression. And as feminists, we need to interrogate those systems, and we need to figure out ways of either totally dismantling them or advocating for ways in which women can live their lives full of dignity and respect, even if they have to live within certain structures. Because there are people who tell you, oh, you cannot eradicate this practice, you cannot dismantle this institution, it's been there, from whatever period. So, pending the time when the whole world will come to an understanding that we don't need this structure in place, or these attitudes of beliefs have to be changed, do women need to continue to live in ignorance, in poverty, live in abuse, live in neglect, and live in fear? Feminism is not hating men. Feminism is not about being rude or disrespectful. Yes, because there are people who say because you have disagreed with something a man has said, you are a feminist. There are many women who disagree with what you are saying, and they will not call themselves feminists. And a lot of things that I write or I say, a lot of women don't agree with me. Right. So being being rude or disrespectful does not make you a feminist. Being someone who believes that the whole world is conspiring against you does not make you a feminist. And being someone who believes that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve without the support of other women around you does not make you a feminist. And because for me, feminism is about solidarity. It is about loving other women. It is about respecting everybody, both men and women. It's about speaking up and being given the room and space to speak up. And it's about having space, whether it is literal space in terms of having an organization or having a position of authority and so on. And it is about dreams and aspirations. Everybody has dreams and aspirations. I've also learned that even if you give definitions from now to kingdom come, there are people who will still tell you, I know that's not for me, it sounds too radical, it sounds, we can, that's absolutely fine. But that is what I believe. That is what has informed the choices that I have made, whether they are personal choices or professional choices. And that is what, informs the engagement I have with young women coming after me and the choices available to them and how they choose to use those choices. I'm particularly concerned about how the feminist movement is being fractured within itself, but that's a conversation we can have amongst ourselves as feminists. We don't all have to think the same or be the same. I think I've come to certain understandings by virtue of the position that I'm in and the different ways in which I understand power and how power can be used. So that, might give me different a different understanding of where I was, say, maybe 10 years ago. But I'm fully aware of the fact that regardless of what we call ourselves, there will always be resistance to a change in power dynamics, to a change in who has control over what. And so I'm not interested in calling myself anything other than a feminist. It goes both ways. There are many men who expect, as a matter of entitlement, that their wives will be there to serve them, to cook for them, to build families and so on, and they get nothing in return. When it's time for them to maybe pursue a career of their own or pursue a cause, that's when they're told, no, you can't do that now from whose house? But my husband is not one of them, so that's why his success is there. And he's one of, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the greatest minds and leaders of my generation. So beyond him being my husband, he's one of the leaders I'm looking up to. I am hoping will be in the position to help our generation do the best they can for our society. So yes, I believe in his dreams and aspirations, because my success is important to him as well. So any man out there who is looking to ensuring that his wife, shares his dreams, then be supportive of what your wife believes in, and then she can support your dreams as well. But if it's one-sided, then it's not that. That's not how things work. A couple of months ago, I addressed a couple of students in high school, Erelu. And I told them, I said, every now and then, especially girls, I'm talking about, girls, I'm talking to you girls in particular, go and have a conversation with your mirror. Stand in front of your mirror and say to your reflection in the mirror, I am awesome. I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I'm going to be, and then add whatever. I'm going to be an astronaut, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. But stand in front of your mirror. You can decide whether you want to do it every day, every week, every month. But stand right in front of the mirror and have that conversation. I am awesome. And as you're doing it, have an attitude. I am awesome. I am beautiful. I am wonderful. Put in some attitude, and then they all went, It's important for us to all do that. And men too. You can stand in front of the mirror and say, I'm good, I'm great, I'm going to be rich. Young people, especially these days, are living under much more pressure than we lived under because of the influence of technology and social media. And so they keep they keep seeking validation from each other or from places that they're not supposed to, or through what they see and read online, most of which is unreal. And so it's difficult for them to believe in themselves. It's difficult for them to have the self-esteem that they need, the things that can only come from within. And whatever your aspirations are in life, you want love. Nobody will love you if you don't love yourself. If you want to be wealthy, if you want to have control over resources, you have to understand what it means to commit to sacrificing certain things to be able to, be successful. It means staying committed to an education, staying committed to learning a skill, staying committed to listening to advice, to being trained and mentored and so on. There is no such thing as an overnight phenomenon or overnight success. There are no shortcuts. So if you're a young man or young woman and you're looking for shortcuts, you are going to take that shortcut to nowhere. And there are people who, sadly, again through the influence of what we see on the media, we are always told that we can't ever be enough, and this is something that's always been with us, especially as black women, right from the writings of Franz Fanon. It was one of the books that had such an influence on me when I was growing up. Black Skins, White Masks, and the whole politics around race and gender and class and skin color. And right up to today, so many years after literature around identity politics and skin color and so on was thrown up there. Years after, we are still living with it. We still have a generation of people who believe that when they put on the TV, the only people they should see on screen are light-skinned people. So light-skinned and slim. So every young person wants to be light-skinned. Every young person wants to be, wants to be in show business. Every young person wants to be in size 8. We will not all be in size 8 or figure 8. We will not all be Oyinbo Pepe. And who says that Oyinbo Pepe is the ultimate when it comes to beauty and so on. So that's why we see women investing millions of naira in bleaching their skins, and it's somebody who is supposed to be comfortable, swaggy, size 18, trying to squeeze into a size 8 dress, then you look like a sausage. Be comfortable with who and what you are. I am 56 years old. I have lived a really, really, really great life. I have no desire whatsoever to be a 26-year-old. I have, paid a whole lot of, dues. I have carried all the bags that are required of me. I'm quite happy to carry other bags going forward, but they have to be good bags. I'm not carrying any more bags of, as I said earlier, doubt and anxiety and so on. And I think it's also important, we've talked about nuggets for young people, for them to know that people need to live their lives today, knowing that there are going to be many tomorrows. The Yorubas have a proverb, and but a lot of us, we know, to begin with, our languages are dying out. So a lot of young people today, if you relate the proverb to them, they don't know what you are talking about. As young people, when you have money from something, people need to learn the culture of investment and savings. Recently, I gave a talk in which I said people need to invest in the things that matter. And the things that matter are not clothing. They are not jewelry. They are not cars. The things that matter, they are not trips abroad. The things that matter are an education, skills, investing in your health, investing in real estate. Those are the things that really, those are the things that you can, that will pay dividends for you further down the line. But if you're a young person and you mind to be successful, and then all the money you have is about keeping up with the Joneses or the Josephs and the Anitas, then you are going to get to a stage in your life where you are going to be waiting for your children to come and feed you. So for those who have an opportunity to start while they are young, start investing in the things that really matter. A lot of people our age will tell you that, oh, I bought my first house when I was 20, when I was 21. The first money I made from something that I did, I used it to go and buy land somewhere. And maybe they bought the land there for £100. Now that land might be worth 50 million naira. But still a lot of young women these days want to go and do weave on for 300,000 naira. 300,000 naira is almost $1,000.
WFM 91.7.